Morning, Kevin here, and I'm just heading out on a walk, and the snow was forecast to arrive at 8 o'clock. I left my house at 5 to 8 and it was literally just starting to snow then, and as you can probably see, it's very small bits of snow, quite hard, they're bouncing off my jacket, but the roads and footpaths are already covered, and if it carries on like this, the roads are going to be treacherous because it's -1, so everything's going to be frozen up. I'm just keeping an eye out for other people coming along, but it is, as I say, just after 8 o'clock on the 24th of January. So let me just show you what the roads are like. And I have to say, even though I'm very well togged up and with really good walking boots, the footpath is already slippery. I've just come down by South Ponds, and we've got a couple of Canadian geese out here, but also somewhere, and I think it's the Egyptian geese, they've got little cygnets, and with it so cold, I would imagine, oops, sorry, too close, I would imagine they must be tucked away somewhere. Let me just spin the camera around and show you the scene that I've got here. So this is the pond. Got the first vehicle of the day coming through, and the Canadian geese are down here. Don't know whether they're not cold. Lovely. A little bit of snow. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
What's it?
Tesco's, I must have missed it.
What, the snow?
Yeah, then I came out. Has it just happened?
Well, I left home at 5 to 8,
Yeah.
and excuse me, got my.
Recording, is it?
Yeah, it's all right. Fine. So you're not in it. You're not in it. It's on me.
No, it voices.
No, that's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's nice to stop and talk to somebody occasionally.
Is it?
Yeah. So the forecast was for 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
and I left home at 8 o'clock, and it started just as I was leaving home. But it laid so quickly. But be careful, because the footpaths, even though I've got walking boots on, it's still quite slippy.
Well, I just walked to Tesco's, so
Yeah.
it's fine. And
Yeah.
I came out and I thought, have a lovely day.
And you, thank you, bye-bye, take care. But that was lovely. Lady stopped and spoke to me. She said that she had gone into Tesco's and she missed the snow coming down. But as I just said to her, you may have heard that the footpaths are very slippery. So we've got to be just a little bit careful. And we've got a lady walking with her with her two lovely dogs out early. And I don't blame her for getting out early. But I think today I'll take a wander through the town itself, and just to see what the scene looks like with a little bit of snow on the ground. I'm not sure how far I'm going to go today, but we'll see. The first lady was a little bit concerned because I was recording, but I'm not too worried about that. It's nice just to. That's a lovely scene through there with the church up through the gap there. Well, this is the scene I've got walking across the causeway in Midhurst, heading towards Cowdray ruins. But I've got to be a bit careful with my equipment at the moment because the snow that we had 15 minutes ago has now turned to rain, and my camera, which I've got hanging around my neck, is getting wet, so that's not great. So I'm just hoping that the rain doesn't come to too much, because otherwise it's going to spoil my film. But it's a rather idyllic scene, looking across the causeway, along the causeway towards the ruins, with a little bit of snow, and it gives the ruins a completely different look. Well, I'm under the shelter of some trees at the moment, but from the sound of it, it's snowing again, which you can probably pick up on the microphone from the Pocket 2. I've had to tuck my bigger camera, my Sony bridge camera, inside my jacket, because you've got to be careful about taking photographs under a certain temperature. But I think I'm okay today. Yeah, I can see the snowflakes now coming down through the trees, which is rather lovely. But I'm going to do the same walk that I did yesterday, which is about 5.6 miles in total. So I do a right here, down onto the first polo field. And if anybody remembers seeing my silly film where I was running in the rain and throwing my hat and cape off, this is where I am now. You might be able to hear the crunching underfoot, where we've had a very, very hard frost overnight. I think the temperatures in Midhurst, where I live, dropped to about -3. I think it's still about -1 at the moment. But it's the same old story, isn't it? It's the same old, same old. There are lots and lots of walks that I could do, but with the forecast we've got for today, I'm not particularly that keen on venturing out further afield, because it would mean having to carry hot drinks, sandwiches, walking poles. You know, it's that's all right if you want to go out and do that on a day when it's reasonable weather. Then yeah, not a problem with it. But the forecast is not great today, so I'm just doing the same old routes that I do and have been doing for a year now. So I'm just going around this first polo field, which again since yesterday was drained away even more. And just in front of me, in front and to the right, is Cowdray ruins. There it is, in all its glory. And the camera can probably pick up the snowflakes coming down now. These are proper snowflakes now, compared to what we had earlier when I first set out, which was much smaller, almost like very tiny bits of hail. But it is very cold. But I have to keep this walking going. It does mean that when I get home, I will be indoors on my own a lot longer, but I'd rather get out early because even on a day like today, around here, it's going to be absolutely heaving with people. Now, one thing I've noticed about this particular lockdown, even though the weather's not been that great, there has been more people out walking than at any time during the first lockdown, which started in March 2020. Was it March the 23rd? Something like that. But as you can tell, the snow is getting harder. And it's not going to take long to settle. But you know, it is nice to do a walk and to film it, because they are saying that by the year 2030 something, the likelihood is that the UK will not have any snow at all. And that would be absolutely incredible if that actually happened. Let me just stop and show you through here towards the walled garden, and you can see where the snow is beginning to settle on the roofs. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Another favourite word, incredible. And for some reason my camera's now frozen in one place. Oh, here we go. Going back on me now. And as you might be able to tell, the snow is laying on me as well. I'm walking along the side of the River Rother now, just on one of the corners, which just runs past the walled garden. So there it is there. It's sort of coming into this, it's coming from my right hand side, and as it gets into this corner it seems to swirl. I don't know if you can pick that up on this or not, and then it goes away to my left hand side. Well, it's a very bleak scene out here today. I look away to my left hand side and the downs have completely disappeared behind cloud cover, and we've got a mixture of rain and snow, and it's rather horrible at the moment. It'd be better if it was one thing or the other, but preferably snow. But there are more and more people out and about now, as I mentioned earlier on. Well, that was good timing of me. Switch it off as I was doing a piece to camera. As I was saying, there's more and more people out now, even people with little children, even though it's freezing cold. But it's great, you know, it's good to see people out and about, but there's going to be even more people out later. But I'm going to head and try and find a coffee somewhere. There is a garage not about 1.5 miles from here, which I'm going to head towards. Good morning. Oh, I'm alright, thanks. I didn't know which way the little one was going to go. Here's a gentleman with a little boy, or little girl, not sure which. 1 minute the little one went one side of the road, then the little one went the other side of the road, so I wasn't sure which side to go. But it's very bleak. Morning. So I'm heading along the side of the Lawns polo fields now, which is away to my left hand side. And there's a track that runs all the way round where the lorries, polo lorries and visitors' cars come along when it's the polo season. Well, I'm coming up into Esbourne now, and we've got the cafe down here, which is to do with Cowdray estate, but it's very expensive in there. But just to my left hand side, we've got the Esbourne Priory, and it was built for 12 Augustinian again, memory's gone. Augustinian? No. Anyway, the Priory is there, and that's it there. Esbourne Priory. But as you can probably hear and see, more and more traffic coming in. It is quite a popular area for people walking their dogs and runners, but it's not very nice at all now. The rain has turned to pretty much snow, and it's quite big flakes of snow. So I'm going to head down this way through Esbourne itself, and we've got Cowdray buildings all around us. We're just walking past the cottage now, and we've got St Peter's Church just over there, which is where the Cowdray family, Viscount Cowdrays 1, 2 and 3, I think they're all buried in there. On the opposite side of the road, we've got the Cowdray estate offices, and then just down on the right hand side is Esbourne Street. Let me just stand under here for a second. There's a lady just in front of me. Of course, normally this time on a Sunday morning they would be getting ready for church services, but of course none of the churches are allowed to have any services at all at the moment. Well, I'm walking along the 286 going into Midhurst now from Esbourne, and the snow is laying quite quickly. As you can see, the traffic is being very sensible and driving slowly because it is getting very slippery. And I'm very concerned about my equipment getting wet. I'm going to, just down here on the left hand side, I've got to turn left and go along to a garage where I want to get a few bits of shopping. Well, I'm now crossing North Mill in Midhurst, heading for home. Got my coffee, got my shopping, and I'm going to end my video here today because the conditions are really bad now. It's very slushy underfoot, and again the snow has turned to rain. So I'm going to stand this way on with the backdrop of North Mill behind me, just about. I will say cheerio, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Bye bye.